All right. I don't have like a bit or anything. It's
You always have bits.
Yeah, you're gonna do the same thing you always do. You're like, I don't know what to say, but
well, yeah, that's a bit too, but that one's not a recognized bit. But like a Truman Show themed one. I was trying to figure out a way to do the part about like movie someone hasn't seen but really should have by now, as like, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, good night.
Oh, that's how you should end it.
I couldn't get there. I just couldn't get to the joke.
We could end it in case I don't make another podcast episode again because I got struck by lightning. Good night, good evening, and whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Could happen.
Well, anyway, as you know, I don't know how to start the podcast yet. So it'll either be that or something along the lines of Welcome to Late the Movies. This is my name is McElhone. This is a podcast where my friends and I get to fill in our movie blind spots. Each week we'll pick a movie that either I or a guest hadn't seen before. And in case they hadn't, good afternoon, good evening. Good night. No, it doesn't work. And really should have by now. This week, finishing off our anniversary month, the whole month looking at movies that are celebrating some kind of anniversary in 2023. We have the 25th anniversary of The Truman Show. I guess, your guess, everyone's guess, left to right across your podcast out this week. We got Noah.
Hey.
And we got Cory.
Hey there.
Welcome back. Yeah. It's your second Peter Weir episode. He also directed Dead Poet Society.
Oh, I recognize the name, and I'm like, I don't know why.
Master and Commander. It's a big one for him, too.
Oh, that's a good movie. Russell Crowe.
On a boat.
I don't know who that is.
And a commander. No, I don't remember.
Who's Russell Crowe? What does he do?
He's Australian.
Gladiator.
Oh.
So that's Peter Weir. That's all we're going to talk about Peter Weir this week. Just kidding. Love that guy. Good at movies. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yes. Before we get to The Truman Show, have you guys seen anything good recently? Movies, TVs, games, card tricks.
What have I? I think I've been on an anime kick more recently. The best isekai to ever be made, Mushoku Tensei, has a new season. Yeah.
You're going to say, I've been on an anime kick for like 30 something years.
Well, I always consistently like at least watch one thing, but now I've only been watching pretty much anime and a lot of YouTube car videos. Yeah. That's pretty much all encompassing for me.
Cool. No
audiobook.
Nice. What we do in the shadows?
Nice.
Been keeping up with that, yeah.
Good.
That's like the only thing I've been watching recently.
I need to watch that, yeah.
You got it. It's so good.
Yeah, I am a bit behind. I know Robbie's still really into it too.
Mm-hmm.
That show's awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Love all the people on it.
What have you been watching?
Nothing.
Really?
What?
No, I've just been busy. No, I've watched some stuff. What was I watching? I don't know. What did I watch since the last time we recorded? I haven't been watching that much. I guess we can get into movie.
Fair enough.
This Sunday, by the day before this episode comes out, so sorry if you missed it, is National Cinema Day. And I'm planning to go see Jurassic Park in 3D because it's the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park. I re-released the episode on Friday. That's today when we're recording, but on Monday it'll be they won't know that. They put that back in theaters, and then also a lot of theaters across the country are doing $4 tickets on Sunday for like all their stuff. So feels like a good use of $4.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. I've been starting to, and now that it's been, this week has been a little colder. Not cold, but it's been like a little cold. There's been like a chill in the air a couple times.
Actually comfortable.
Yeah. And it's starting to get like a little bit gloomy with the rain these really just today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm starting to feel like need to watch some horror again soon.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah. That's creeping up.
Yeah, it's creeping up.
I was thinking
Texas
about
Chainsaw
rewatching
Massacre.
I would definitely watch that. I was thinking about rewatching Midnight Mass this year.
Really?
So
years,
good.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, because
One of our first
when did it
episodes.
come out?
Yeah.
When was
That was
that?
last year, wasn't it?
That would have been
No.
2021.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, the podcast only started October 2021, so it was probably October 2021.
Yeah.
He's had another show since then, Midnight Club.
Oh, yeah.
Which I watched.
I liked it, and they
I did
canceled
too.
it.
It sucks because they left it at a point where
Yeah.
it's like
It was meant to
it's
be
gonna
more than
it's
one
just
season.
about to pick up.
Yeah.
that's
We're talking about Mike Flanagan, who did The Haunting of Hill House, Haunted of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, Midnight Club. He did the Dr. Sleep movie, the Ouija sequel he did. If you haven't seen it, it's actually pretty good.
No.
All that to say, he has
Good
a
job,
new
Flanny.
show coming out this
like
fall. So
Oh, what is it?
Fall of the House of Usher, but I think it's just called the House of Usher, and apparently it's not just the Fall of the House of Usher, but they're doing other post stuff too in it. I don't know. So
That should be cool.
yeah, so it's Flanagan with his normal Flanagan crew, all like the actors you expect to be in his stuff.
Same people that'll.
A lot of the same people.
I'll check that out.
And I guess it's more of a riff on Poe, so that'll be interesting.
Huh.
Sweet.
Whereas Midnight Mass was hugely a riff on Stephen King, but not in a bad way. I'm really curious to see what it's like because like that dude a lot.
Yeah, we do love.
So I haven't watched that much recently. I guess there's a lot coming up.
Nice. Oh, this isn't recent, but I think the last podcast we did was the Emma Stone movie, right?
Yeah.
And I did end up watching The Favorite, and it was a really good movie. So thanks
so
for the
good.
recommendation.
Yes. So the new Yorgos Lanthimos movie starring Emma Stone, Poor Things, I want to say, comes out before the end of the year at some point.
Nice.
Yeah. Real weird trailer that they've released for that so far. Hope it's good.
Cool.
Yeah, The Favorite's dope.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, very good acting in it.
I like Rachel Weisz a lot.
She's still.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Amazing.
Speaking of which, Truman Show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is the turn into dramatic acting for Jim Carrey. 1998, it's Ace Ventura and Liar, Liar were happening, so they had to wait a year to make this movie. Good thing they did, or else it wouldn't have fit into this month. So,
Yeah, I just watched Liar Liar again like last 2 months ago, maybe.
Oh, cool.
It's a good
Great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on a
I
plane,
haven't seen that in
so.
a minute. But I mean, that's all-timer of a plane movie for sure.
Yeah, it holds up.
Yeah, passes the time.
Also, fun fact, I thought I had already seen this movie because I looked at the cover of it.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Cable Man.
Cable guy.
Cable guy.
Cable dude.
Cable dude, cable fella.
Mr. Cable.
Mr. Cable.
Cable.
Yeah.
Cable Babel. Yeah, it's not. It's a totally different movie. I've definitely seen parts of this or have seen like GIFs
Sure.
of certain portions of it.
Yeah, there was a moment where I thought we weren't going to be able to do this because you thought you'd seen it before. So I'm glad that it turned out to not be the Cable Guy.
It's a good thing I have an awful memory.
Also, I like this movie more than the Cable Guy. So I'm glad this isn't the Cable Guy in more ways than one. Not a bad movie. I just like this one more.
I was gonna say I do like the Cable Guy. I feel like they're very different. Different Jim Carrey's.
Oh yeah, that one's much of a darker kind of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And this has other stuff going on. Noah, you've seen this before though, right?
Yeah, I had, but I'm kind of similar to Cory, where I don't know if I'd ever seen it in totality, and if I did, it was probably like 10 years ago or 15 years ago or something like that. It's a movie they always show on TV, or you still always show on TV. So, so that's my background with it.
I weirdly have a distinct memory of seeing this in theaters.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if I enjoyed it or got a lot of it, but I think it was like a Jim Carrey movie. And I was like, oh, I like that guy.
Yeah.
That's Ace Ventura. Obviously, I want to go see that movie.
So you were like 7 or 8 or something?
Yeah, it would have been
that.
7, I think.
Okay.
And I don't know if my parents looked into it that much and were expecting sort of like a almost satire-y, kind of dark, kind of comedy, psychological.
Yeah, it walks a
thriller.
weird line. This movie walks a really weird line.
But it's not like Ace Ventura that much. So there's barely any animals. There's just a few dogs. That's really it. Otherwise, same movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, before we get into too much of the movie, either you want to give us a 1-minute plot summary?
I think I can.
Yeah.
So a baby is born, and then this like creepy, artistic looking dude steals this baby and gives him a foster family, creates an entire set that contains a whole city. And then everyone in the city's lying to this baby, telling him, making him think he's living a real life. But in actuality, there's cameras everywhere, and they're actually just 24-hour live streaming this baby turning into a man. And then later on, he's like, something ain't right. And he starts to realize with some assistance that he's not living in a real place. And then he escapes.
Yep.
And the old dude tries to kill him.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
Your main players here. So we already mentioned Jim Carrey playing Truman. Ed Harris is Christoph, the artistic quote unquote genius. And those are the main two people, really, even though Ed Harris is kind of not even in the first hour of the movie, aside from like the very, very opening as it's doing the fake opening credits. And then just gives you an hour of just sort of being in that world before it kind of pulls back and you have the interview scene a little more than halfway through the movie. But Laura Linney plays his wife at the beginning. Noah Emmerich is his best friend, that guy who just like, it's just a recognizable face.
I recognized him, but I couldn't tell you who he was.
I know he's in a bunch of stuff. For some reason, my only pull right now is Little Children, which is not like a super popular movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen
and he's
that one.
weird in that. Anyway,
You don't want to pull Little Children.
That's what that movie is about.
Mm-hmm.
And also Kate Winslet doing adultery. I don't know. It's a weird movie. Anyway. So yeah, this movie though, 1998, I saw when I was 7, probably didn't get it. But yeah, sort of a spate at the end of that century. That Matrix is a year later, where people were just like, maybe the world isn't real.
Oh, The Matrix was 1 year after that?
Yeah.
That blows my mind for some reason.
99.
Yeah, we're old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
I have a favorite quote from the movie.
Go for it.
Fiji? Where the hell is that? He was talking to his best friend, and he's like, I think I'm going to go to Fiji.
Oh,
and he's like, Fiji? Where the hell is that?
Then he shows him on a golf ball.
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. It just like, I died laughing.
It's really good.
Because it was like so like fake almost.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like a...
Fiji? I don't know how Fiji is.
Yeah.
So like you, I don't think I'd watched this movie in a while, and I forgot like exactly how it's sort of put together and formatted in like a literal sense, where so much of it is you're in the camera view of, the button pin that they keep going back to, buttons on people's coats or shirts that have tiny cameras in them that they sort of quickly explain in a montage, saying like, oh, we have the smallest camera ever or something like that. And people constantly like trying to maneuver him to be in front of the name of a product while they're talking to him.
Like the wife one.
That's
was
one
a
of
big
my favorite scenes.
She
with
just
the
pulls it
cocoa.
out. Here's the cocoa. Blah, blah, blah. What are you doing?
Yeah. Who are you talking to?
That's one of my favorites.
Yep. That is a reaction gif I see a lot. Also, who are you talking to? The twin older guys who keep pushing him in front of that poster
Yep.
when he's walking to work.
Next week.
Yeah, it's just so clever, and I feel like it could be such a headache to watch because so much of it really is in like very weird, almost fisheye lens kind of thing going on with the vignetting sort of around the edge of the frame. But they pull it off. It's quite something. Originally, it was written as more of a sci-fi psychological thriller, and then they kind of made it funnier when Peter Weir came on board. So I don't know. What did you find surprising about the movie? One that it's not the cable guy.
I started watching. I was like,
What the fuck is this?
Is Matthew Broderick going to show up at some point?
no, I was watching at the beginning when he was doing insurance stuff, and he's like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, oh, he's going to go fix TVs. Like, he's going to change careers. And then he never did. And I was like, oh, shit, this is not that movie, which I haven't seen that in a long time either.
Yeah.
Maybe now I should go back and watch it. But yeah, I think the surprising thing was it's less of a comedy than I expected it to be.
Yeah, it's not that funny, really. It's not trying to be. It ran in drama at the Golden Globes, where Jim Carrey did win Best Actor, drama, because that's how they do their weird categories. I just like this movie a lot.
Comma drama, yeah, it's comma drama is essentially when people argue about Oxford commas and whether you should or shouldn't use them. I've started using them just because I had enough people complain
Yeah.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
I always use Oxford commas, but like no one at work does.
I don't
It's
like
awful.
it.
That's
Like it
bothersome.
makes me
Yeah.
upset, but I do it to satisfy others.
Oh, you saying you don't use them?
I didn't. I do now,
Oh,
unfortunately.
Yeah.
that's some comma drama.
Do you remember in school being taught to put 2 spaces after a period?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
What?
No, and then I started doing that, and like anyone even just a few years younger than me was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
I don't remember doing that.
Yeah, they told us to put 2 spaces after a period. Space.
That was specifically like middle school typing, so maybe it was
Yeah, it
different.
must have been
Yeah.
Somerset. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just, I guess.
Berkeley hadn't gotten that technology
Yeah.
yet.
No, not
So
yet.
picture
All
a
the way out there.
typewriter, right?
We still had
Except
our
there's a screen.
typewriters back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you don't want to waste paper because it's
Yeah.
more expensive. Yeah.
We have to
Yeah.
make it ourselves.
Well, you have enough trees.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
It's tough to
We
weave
did.
it
Yeah,
though.
not anymore.
You gotta spend so much time weaving your paper. every night.
Is
Yeah,
that how
well.
paper's made?
Nope.
Yeah.
It's grinded
I
down
should
into
know.
a pulp
We used
and
to do
then
it.
laid out.
Yeah,
I
they
actually
pulp it
made
up.
paper. So
Nice.
Whoa.
yeah, art school.
Like the ancient
Paper
Egyptians.
maker.
Yep, you can put flowers in it.
Aw.
That's cool.
I've never had flower paper.
Should have went to UMass for graphic design
I guess I should have.
and then dropped out and then became a software engineer.
There you go. That's the career path.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the movie starts, and I like that it immediately has like the light dropping, and you see it's there's a star name on it, and it always makes me think like, and they do get into this later, but he's 30, I think. Jim Carrey's 36, but I think Truman's 30.
Yep.
And I don't know, how long do you think it would take you to kind of have the sort of path that he has in this movie? That's like kind of a breakdown and then sort of a plan to escape.
With the way my mind works, it probably would have happened a lot earlier.
Yeah.
Just because I'm I'm not a very straightforward thinker. I think a lot and conceptualize. So I feel like I would know earlier, but they're also like perfectly curating his entire life. Like anytime he suspects something, they're watching 24/7.
Yeah.
You know, they like make a phone call happen or they make this happen. So I don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they've manipulated him at every turn to like try to make him not want
pretty
to
fucked
leave in the
up.
first place. Yeah.
Not pretty. It's really fucked up.
Concept's fucked up.
Although if he's happy, I don't know. That's a
That's Christoph's
moral
argument.
debate. Yeah,
is that
like-
he's safe here and he's
safe and happy, so-
he likes his cell, as you said.
what's wrong with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a whole other psychological.
There's probably a
Moral
lot
debate.
wrong with it.
Yeah.
So because he never got to really choose, though he technically was adopted by the TV network, I think is what they say.
Yeah, the first child to ever be adopted by a corporation or network or whatever.
Yeah. How long do you think it would take you before you started being like, this is obviously not real?
I don't know. Well, he was born into it. So like if you're indoctrinated
Why
from
would you
when
question
you're
it? Yeah.
when you're a
Ooh,
child.
Don't talk about this. No, I can't find out.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Is that what this whole thing is?
Intervention.
It's an intervention
cut.
for
Drank them. Trank.
There's like a door in the house you've not opened before, and you look back there, and there's just like people at craft services.
Can you imagine how odd, like how crazy that would be?
I would immediately think I was drugged.
Yeah.
Yep. I'd be like, someone fucked with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like after you see your long lost dad who you watched drown.
Yeah,
And then
and always thought he was alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then some people appeared out of nowhere and forced him onto a bus while he was yelling at you.
You know what I thought was going to happen when he met his dad again? I thought his dad was going to hug. I might have been thinking of a different movie, but I thought his dad was going to hug him and whisper in his ear, like, this is all fake.
That would have been smart.
Yeah. I thought that's how it was going to be.
Was his dad
turn.
on
Dad just-
board with helping him or not? Because
No.
No, he was an actor.
But that dude just wanted to be back on TV.
I thought originally he had warned him, though. Did he not?
No, that girl did.
I thought there was a guy that tried to warn him.
There's a guy that flew in on like a parachute with a sign.
They show like a quick montage of the guy jumping out of the Christmas present and the parachute.
That's what the Christmas present guy is what I was thinking of. I thought that was his dad for some reason. Oh, okay. Yeah, you just want to get.
Then
big,
his
I
dad
guess.
like tackles that guy.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, that guy just they're all just actors. They just want to be on TV. And then the voiceover Christoph is giving to that, in the interview, is that he was really mad when they wrote him out of the show. And they show like divers pulling him out of the water, and he's like,
Oh, gosh darn it. My son.
Yeah. It's really just the kind of pace and mood of the whole movie is so interesting, because I feel like it's such a hard line to walk, because it's sort of in between all these genres, and it has all these kind of like, they were inspired by Norman Rockwell paintings for a lot of the look of the town.
Well, that makes sense.
Or at least the stuff that they did. That's a real town. It's I think called Seaside, Florida. That was like a master plan community that does kind of just look like that. But a lot of like the fashion and the things people were, I guess, using, the different products and whatnot, all inspired by 50s and mid-century commercials mostly.
Quote unquote, what America is or was.
Yeah, a lot of Americana.
At the time, Americana.
Yeah.
That's
so there's all these like trappings of Americana, but at the same time, for one character in here, it's like a political thriller from the 70s kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Of like a conspiracy thriller is what's happening for him. And it's just a really interesting melding of all these different genres, and some we haven't even mentioned yet. It's just really cool and probably super hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they keep you just enough uncomfortable for like the whole beginning until you like find out what's actually, because at the beginning I was like, this is odd. This is too like cookie cutter, but then like
just weird stuff keeps sort of piling up.
Yeah, and I kind of, it's also relatable if you have any kind of like somewhat corporate job, because I feel like I'm going through those motions every day too. Like when the, he's on the phone and he has his like sayings and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I did, like when I was downstairs and I said Happy Friday.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I hear that shit all the time, and it just like eats away at my soul. But that like, that's in a sense, a very loose sense, some of us are living that kind of life.
Yeah, for sure. So mention this is a year before The Matrix. It's also a year before Office Space. So it feels like
another classic,
sort of like a middle ground between those, kind of hitting at a lot of the similar, a lot of similar anxieties culturally at the time, I guess.
So the most fucked up part of the movie to me was when his best friend looks at him and he's getting fed the lines.
Yeah.
And he's just like, man, remember in like second grade we did this? Like, why would I lie to you about that? And it's just like, he's like teary-eyed, like, oh man, here's my friend. Yes. I kind of think in that moment though, he was like, oh yep, this is fake. Like, because he had that look in his face, and then the next day, was the day he left.
Once he knew, he knew.
Yes.
Yeah, you weren't convincing him otherwise.
Also, he always has a 6-pack of beer whenever anything goes wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. like when they realized he wasn't sleeping, he's running in with a 6-pack. Hey.
Yeah.
That's just the neighborly thing to do. But then also,
Yeah.
I think it's the first time they're at the bridge where he like drinks and then like turns the can to face the camera.
Yep.
Oh, yep.
Really funny. So at the beginning, he's going about his day. It's like pretty normal. And I think the stuff starts getting weird for him when he sees his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And then it sort of all just slowly unravels from there. He keeps noticing things. He keeps trying to be unpredictable. So, and in order to see that, like when the traffic goes away, when he goes around the Rotary a couple times.
Yep.
Sorry, in case you're not listening from this area, Rotary is roundabout to most people. You have 5 million in your neighborhood.
Yep. I know all about roundabouts, and nobody knows how to use them.
Nope.
And even now, I'm like, all right, I'm not going around. I'm just cutting through this way because this is such a low traffic area. I don't know why these are here in the first place.
These weird tiny baby ones.
Yeah, that aren't very like. I don't
They're
know how
not
people with not cars like mine go around. Like your car's not that big, but like in a truck.
If you had a truck,
my dad's like, I can't go around that.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's
very strange. But anyway,
yeah.
So he's just he's in this idyllic town. It's on the edge of seemingly the ocean. It's really just a big dome behind the Hollywood sign. And yeah, it's just kind of slowly unravels. I don't feel like it's super well served by us going like plot beat by plot beat.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
How much do you think that like dome and world would cost upfront, like just to build behind the Hollywood sign?
And I think my journey thinking about that through watching the movie, it gets a little bit more money every time because like he can travel pretty far and not hit the edge. Like when he does take the car and leaves and he goes over the bridge and there's still like, and he ends up at the, the quote unquote the nuclear plant that is going haywire or whatever. And then there's still woods around there. And then at the end of the movie, I'm always like, oh yeah, he's sailing for a while.
Yeah.
And just like the cost of water and just having that much standing water for 30 years now, like
that would need some kind of like filtration system.
Yeah. The upkeep's insane. So I don't know, billions of dollars.
Yeah, I don't even know what the initial cost. Like maybe they like expanded over time because he was still young, so they would be like, "All right, go watch this movie."
They just had the neighborhood. Yeah.
They would just block it off and not let his parents let him out. So maybe it started off as just the city.
As a kid, you could probably just do like the house for a while.
Oh yeah, like until the age of like 10.
Yeah. So you have time to develop
because you don't know about it. Like there's no internet. The other kids are all fake as well.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't know that there's things out there.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I had a thought, and then I already answered the question for myself, which was, why didn't they just like not have cars in this world? And then it would have been like a lot easier to keep them contained. And I was like, oh, because they need to advertise cars though.
Oh, that makes sense.
Point.
I wonder if it started off with no cars. Oh yeah, it had to have been because it was 30 years before that.
Yeah.
Although they already had cameras, so they probably had cars.
They did, they had cars.
What year is it supposed to be? Did they ever say
I think
that?
it's just normal times. Like if you see people on the outside, it just looks kind of normal.
I was thinking 50s because of like the look.
That's what
he's driving like a 90s car though.
Yeah. That's why
I think just because like the Americana vibes, it felt like it was like older
than it was.
Yeah, right.
Yes. In that world, it is that for sure. That's the aesthetic that they've created. But you see like Paul Giamatti and Ed Harris up in the moon, they're just like, it's the 90s.
Wasn't there some there's another movie where I think it was like
Kangaroo Jack.
Thank you.
Yeah,
there's a kangaroo and
he's Jack. In the ads, it was implied he'd be talking like friend of the main characters.
By the way, we're gonna bring up that movie until there's an episode on Kangaroo Jack.
That anniversary. Hold on, that
Hidden
anniversary
gem.
has to be coming up, right?
I don't know.
It's gotta
I doubt it.
We're fitting it in somewhere.
I think that's been erased from the cultural timeline.
And then I'll just
check it out.
Sneak it onto your podcast.
No, there's
trippy. It's reflecting the clouds.
I think it's like another movie where it's like a movie, but it's like filmed. Seems like it's in the 1950s, and then a character becomes aware that they're in a movie or something like that. Is that ringing a bell? And
it sounds like the Truman Show.
It does. Well, that's why it's reminding me of it, but I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head.
I thought of a few. I thought of like a couple things that are that similar structure, not specifically the movie part.
Okay.
But then I was like, I don't want to say those because it's like huge spoilers in case anyone was planning to watch those movies. And vice versa. Maybe I just haven't seen that movie and didn't realize.
Maybe. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Maybe.
That sounds like a thing that's been done for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, just the advertising dollars, I guess, sort of dictate where a lot of the styles go. But it is very Americana, very Norman Rockwell 50s, what they're doing, 50s, 60s, I guess, in town. So the day that he kind of just sort of like loses it, he's driving around the circle, he drives off into that nuclear power plant, then he's running through the woods and stuff. It's just straight political thriller stuff. It's so interesting. I think I forgot I already mentioned
like
this.
Stranger Things vibes.
Yeah,
you know,
the music kind of gets like the thing, like you know, that's it. Doesn't sound exactly like what I just did, but you know what I mean. It's just like I said before, a really interesting use of tone throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The weirdest part is when he was like, "We're going to record the first conception on camera."
Yeah,
it's like.
One day, that's like
you don't
their
have porn
ultimate goal.
Like
so
you realize, like, you know, if you just watch porn, that's someone probably conceived a child.
Yeah,
at some point, yeah. Not Christoph. He doesn't seem to.
Yeah,
that guy doesn't.
I don't even know if he's like a monk that's been castrated.
Yeah.
What a
He just-
strange dude.
He's a strange. Yeah, when he rubs the TV.
Yes, that's odd. I have to.
I'm guessing he looks at him like his child in a sense.
I think so.
But then he tries
how
to
he
kill
talks
him.
about him. Yeah, that relationship's really weird.
Yeah,
Weird.
he's Old Testament God, maybe.
I don't know. Also, the viewer's relationship with him, like
They
eventually,
love him.
yeah. Well, eventually, when he ends up getting out, they're all celebrating.
They're all
him.
stoked. Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, but
You didn't help.
yeah, you just watched.
You
this.
contributed.
Yeah.
It's,
Like
it's
how-
pretty fucked
yeah.
up.
How can you play both sides like that? I don't know.
I don't know. People.
Wild.
I mean, obviously reality TV is already a thing in 1998, but becomes huge throughout the early thousands and still today. And I mean, people know that those people are being like treated pretty inhumanely, and
Yeah,
people
it's-
still watch
That's
Well,
a
I
good comparison.
and
think
don't
it's
consider
like-
themselves like bad people or part of a problem.
Yeah. Well, at
but
the
they're
point of
they're complicit at least. Like the
Yeah.
people experiencing it are.
Yeah, but they wouldn't
It's not
necessarily
against
say
their
that
will.
about themselves.
Mhm.
Oh, I see what you mean. I thought you were talking about the viewers. You're talking about the participants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think there's like two things that contribute to the viewers being like, I love this show, but also happy when he gets out. It's like Amazon. When you get a package same day, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is awesome. But then when you think about Amazon, you're like, oh,
That's a good comparison.
it's such a shitty thing. Or like, outsourcing things to China, child workers and stuff, but you like cheap products.
Yeah, that's a really good comparison.
And these people, for them, like think about the streamers that like the reason why streamers was so popular
Yeah.
is because like you feel like a connection,
Mhm.
like they're interacting with you and it's almost like you're hanging out with the streamer sometimes.
Yeah,
If you're like actually like active in chat.
yeah,
For them, a lot of them, like the older viewers at least, they've been watching his stream for 30 years.
that's wild.
That they're
Yeah,
like
that's wild. to
A
think
family
of.
member in a sense.
Yeah,
So I don't know that it was not invented yet, the term parasocial relationship, but it certainly is more in the cultural zeitgeist today.
Mhm.
But that is also, so this movie is sort of, not my thoughts. There's a lot of like writing about how this movie foresaw a lot of trends in media and parasocial relationships. As social media, as streaming developed, that's like a real thing for people, like a real problem of people thinking that, the streamer's your friend, and then some people taking that too far and like being really intense and,
Sending them a lot of money and
Yeah.
Mhm.
paying $100,000 to meet up with them to get a hug.
Yeah. Yeah.
that
was a
thing
thing,
that
yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
I forgot who it was. It was some female streamer.
Yes.
$1,000.
It was I don't know if that was the exact amount, but it was like a lot of money.
Wow.
And paid to like fly them out and meet them.
Jeez.
And all they got was like a hug and like 20 minutes of hanging out.
Damn.
Yeah. And those are like the non-dangerous version of
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
of that relationship, man.
Like it's only mentally dangerous there. There's no
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe they're stalking her, but
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's definitely a thing.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see people who would be like, they're not fans of the Truman Show so much as they feel like they're friends with Truman.
like they know Truman better than Truman knows Truman.
Yeah.
That's what he said, right?
I think in the opening credits, the fake opening credits that also are just the movie's opening credits, he's talking about like, some people just leave Truman on all night because it's like comforting when they're sleeping. They don't say the Truman Show. They said they leave Truman on all
Yeah,
night.
yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that.
Well, yeah, it's like some people watch like like sleeping streams.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing.
Yeah.
Eating streams, or like it's like you're eating with someone so you don't feel lonely.
Yeah.
And worth noting that live streaming is a thing that people do. They're the ones doing it, but essentially just their day-to-day lives. They just have a camera on them.
They
at
just
all
know
times.
that they're doing it.
Yeah, they
Right,
just know
right,
that they're
right.
doing it.
Well, that's the darkest part about it is he doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
it's
doesn't
definitely
have
not
control
cool.
of his own life. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder. Actually, I keep going. I gotta.
You say like, I wonder if there's an ethical way to do this. Maybe when he's like able to understand things, you just make it clear consistently that that's what's happening, so they have the ability to opt out over time.
I feel like at no point
At no point should a
can it
corporation do it.
really be ethical just because they're manipulating him. So even if he agreed to it, which like at the end he tried to get him to do. But if they did that earlier and made him think like this is it, or like you can pretty like there's a lot of psychology around you can get someone to do something that you want them to do without them realizing you're getting them to do it.
Right.
Just in the way that you're like interacting, talking to them, like there's methods to do that. And I think they would have either consciously or subconsciously tried to do that.
Yeah. There's no objective way for them to approach him because it's all coming from just a place of gaslighting, manipulation.
They would have to just put him like in the middle of LA, but record him all the time and let him know like, hey, we're recording. It would be like a reality TV show.
Right.
That lasts long, like the Kardashians, except they record everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's his whole life 24/7, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It never stopped, they said, for like 30 years. So.
I just thought of this comparison, but isn't this kind of similar to probably like what child actors go through, where it's like you really don't have your own agency. It's your parents that are sort of
probably
like
a lot. Yeah.
forcing you into this limelight and you really don't have any control over,
right.
you know,
child actors, children of athletes that want their children to become like them.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I guess.
There's a lot of different facets where this kind of falls in.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, if you look at the sort of, I don't know, you know, not being an actual doctor or anything, but if you just look at the kind of mental health outcomes for a lot of people who are famous from a really young age, it's
not good.
It's not great.
No.
It's definitely like a problem, and there's not a lot of support for those people.
Yeah.
It results in a lot of like in the Miley Cyrus situation, it results in a lot of them wanting to do things that are like so over the line that they know they're in control. Like, this is my choice.
Yeah. And she seems to be like on the more stable side of outcomes.
Because she was a child of someone famous for being, you know,
if we're in a
famous musician.
Oh, okay. I was going to say because he's in a couple scenes of Mulholland Drive, but I guess he had achy breaky heart also.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that was more what he's known for.
Yeah, well, I don't know. But yeah, no, just ethically, all kinds of problems.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, there's the media angle, there's like the ethics angle, there's the psychology angle. That I was reading one summary of some psychological paper written on it that was talking about how he starts as this child, but then at the end has to become a true man. I was like, oh, I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah. It's like, oh, maybe that is what they're going for.
Yeah.
The religious angle, especially that conversation at the end, it really seems like Christoph is playing up either like a Lucifer or a God thing, one or the other, or kind of doing both. Not on purpose, but I just mean like the way that scene's written.
Yeah.
When it's just like, you can't see me, but I can hear you, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And giving him this like terrible choice. And yeah, which I guess is more of a Satan thing.
Which I guess he didn't lie when he said, oh, I'd give him the choice if, you know.
Yeah.
But
they didn't lock that
completely
door.
try to manipulate him 100% when giving him the choice.
They didn't lock that door.
Yeah.
True.
And the sort of splinter in Truman's brain from his time in college is that there's this woman, Sylvia, who he's spent seemingly like about 90 minutes with, who told him that this wasn't real, and he kind of had a crush on her. And
she spent the rest of her life trying to break him free.
Yeah. So,
which I'm kind of sad. I thought that it was going to end with them meeting.
Oh, that would
but
have been a good end.
They just like, it almost seemed kind of sudden when they cut it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's the end?
Yeah.
It's, I think it's a lot stronger if you don't see Truman again after he goes out that door.
I think it was a great choice, but I didn't expect it.
And it ends on the kind of joke of people like are just like, oh, what else is on TV?
Yeah, the cops, right? They switch.
Yeah. Hey, Robbie's not here, so I'll just, you know, he'd want us to mention that one of those cops is also, or a security guard or whatever they are, is one of the cops in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, no way.
Oh, really?
He'd want us to mention that. So.
Yeah, okay. I think I know who it is.
Yeah. I forget the character name from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but the bigger guy.
I've only seen some of
With the
Brooklyn
flat
Nine-Nine,
top.
but
yeah.
Yeah. Is that called a flat top?
Yeah.
That
Sure.
like military haircut?
Yeah,
thing?
the kind of military thing. He's in a bunch of other stuff too, but I just know if Robbie was here, he would have mentioned that. But for me, I almost would prefer to just end when he goes through the door. And they like cut the broadcast.
Mhm.
But you do get to see all the people celebrating, which I guess is nice. And then
Yeah.
yeah.
I almost
But
wish
you do
they
see,
cut
like-
to that before, and then
Yeah.
he goes through the door, and then it's done.
Like when he bows, maybe it cuts to all that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, you see Sylvia like getting a jacket on and running out the door, and it seems it looks like the kind of scene that has a resolution with her meeting up with Truman.
Mm.
Where, you know, it's LA traffic. It's going to take her a while to get to the dome. It's
Oh,
all
yeah.
the way up in the hills.
Realistically, yeah.
Yeah. With LA traffic, he could walk to her by the time she gets there.
He's never been outside the dome before. So my thinking is always like people watching this that are nearby, they all are rushing over there too.
He's gonna be
right?
so confused, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's not going to know where he is.
Yeah.
He doesn't have money.
He's gonna have to see a psychiatrist.
Honestly, his
He
whole
should go
life
to the
is
hospital. He just almost drowned.
messed up.
That too. Yep. I can't believe. Yeah, he was like basically just like, yeah, kill him.
yeah, pretty much.
And even Paul Giamatti didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said no. He didn't even do it.
He didn't even do it.
Mm-hmm.
Christoph had to do it himself.
Yep.
I just thought of Big Fat Liar the whole time. Whenever I see his face,
Yeah.
wait, that's the movie where he turns blue?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's weird. It's hard to recognize him when his skin's not blue.
Yeah, I know. It's
no,
like,
it's
oh
not.
wait, you're a little less blue than normal, but
Otherwise, a very specific looking guy, just not always blue.
Yeah.
Just
I don't know what else he's
sometimes,
in,
like
but-
half the time.
that was the main thing I could remember him from.
Sure.
Was Big Fat Liar.
Kangaroo Jack?
Was he in that?
He
Think
just
so,
voices
yeah.
the king.
No, he's not.
Not actually.
Oh yeah, he's the main guy with Kangaroo Jack, the guy with the curly hair.
Yeah.
They look alike. I mean,
Yeah.
The ending of this movie is probably the most famous part of it, where the boat runs into the cloud wall,
Mm.
and I know it's a dome, and you kind of think it's sort of a projection or a screen, but it's just painted, which I always like because it just looks better for this scene, and
Mhm.
it's a lot more. I don't know. All the images here, and I don't have the director of photography in front of me, so I'll say good job, Peter Weir, I guess. The composition of all these shots is just incredible, with the sailboat going into the wall, with him walking along the water, and of course him walking up the stairs.
that
and having the
staircase, like
conversation.
it kind of, especially with like the God talk,
Yes.
reminded me of like a staircase to heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like he's like finally free.
yeah,
Also, there's just happens to be a staircase there.
yep.
Mm.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
It's one of the most indelible images in 90s cinema. The staircase with the open door was used as sort of the main image for the Cannes Festival last year in 2022.
No way.
really?
Yeah, they compared it to Plato's cave. You get out of the cave because of knowledge. I don't have the whole thing in front of me, but you got to scrape and claw, and it sucks, and it's dark in there. And most people want to stay though because you're already there. But you got to scrape and claw your way out, and that's you learning, and you gain knowledge,
Mm.
and then it gets better.
Mm.
And then you finally see the sunlight once you get out of the cave.
Hmm.
That's what those French people in Cannes said, at least.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I went,
Oui, my friend.
They said it muffled
Shout
with a
out
mouthful
to
of
our
cigarettes.
European listeners.
Yeah,
Do we still have German listeners?
yeah. It's definitely not just all of our friends who use VPNs
No, definitely not.
cycling through.
Who uses a German VPN? The ping would be terrible.
Yeah. Shout out Germany. What up?
Oh, it's probably Greg.
Ugh, he's always using that German. Yeah, this sequence is incredible. So, what do you think about it? Having not fully seen the movie before, but probably seeing, you mentioned like you'd seen some memes or maybe some images or clips.
Yeah, and
Probably-
like Noah was mentioning, it was one of those movies that would come on TV.
Yeah,
And I probably would like catch clips of it, or like different parts. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was my kind of movie. It didn't leave me as uncomfortable as like Black Mirror does.
no, yeah,
You know,
yeah. It's not super dark, and it has a happy ending,
it's just
a
dark
hopeful
enough.
ending.
Yeah.
Maybe more importantly, but yeah, you like it, right? I hope this wasn't like torture for you.
No, it was a really good movie.
Yeah, I was happy I watched it.
Good.
Yeah.
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 That's what we're all.
I also now realize why I thought it was Cable Guy, because I'm looking
Jim
at
Carrey.
all of Jim Carrey's movies, and no, it's because of the poster.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's a bunch of TVs
Oh, yeah.
and Jim
can I see
Carrey's
it?
face.
Do you have it pulled up?
In the middle there?
And definitely the most recent, at least, Truman Show
Oh, yeah,
poster
yeah, yeah.
is like Jim Carrey's face on a bunch of TVs.
Yeah, that's what that. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So I
Just
was
on
like,
a big
oh,
TV
okay, so
maybe?
that's him fixing the TVs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
that makes sense.
Right, exactly. No, it makes sense.
Just to justify, the reason I pulled up all these movies because I'm wondering two things. One, what are both of your favorite serious Jim Carrey movies, and then
This-
favorite funny one?
if this counts as serious, it's definitely this.
What are
Really?
the serious Jim Carrey movies?
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh, but that
I,
one.
I like
That's
this.
that's one of my
Yeah,
favorite
it's
movies
that
ever.
one. It's that one for
That
sure.
one's great. I like this more than Eternal Sunshine.
No, that's
but
totally
I
fine.
like that. There's fewer to choose from. No one's going to pick the Majestic.
I haven't seen
No.
that.
Man on the Moon, his Andy Kaufman biopic, is pretty good too.
Yeah, that's a good movie. The Grinch.
Yeah, The Grinch,
No, I'm just kidding.
Serious
another
film.
serious biopic.
Yeah.
Like it's basically the same tone as Oppenheimer.
Oh, I'm like
Pretty
forgetting
much.
about all the other movies he's
I
done.
was gonna say I gotta look him up now.
But for the comedies though,
Ugh.
I think it's probably no. I mean the killer run he had 1 year that I think was The Mask and Ace Ventura
Yeah,
and Dumb and Dumber.
that's what. That's why those are like the few that I'm kind of contemplating right now. It might have to be Ace Ventura for
I want to say
me.
those are all 93, something like that. He has 1 year that he has like 3 movies come out. And they're
94.
Like 94. And
It's Ace Ventura, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber.
oh,
yeah,
Dumb and Dumber
all
too.
the same year.
Man.
So, and then
what
it's
a
just
hot
like, oh,
streak.
this guy's not just A-list.
He's in
the
Batman
fucking
Forever?
thing. He's the
Yes, I saw
Riddler.
that too. Oh, yeah.
that's right.
Yeah,
I might go with The Mask.
a comedic performance, but
I might go with Ace
Annoying.
Ventura.
God,
for me, it's Ace Ventura. Just because I was connected a lot to it as a child, I will say a topic that's been brought up on this podcast before, and I don't remember why. That movie, a bit of a rough watch for a lot of reasons these days.
Really?
Wait,
Yeah.
what movie?
Ace Ventura,
Oh yeah.
Pet Detective?
Pet Detective. Just the kind of transphobic bent to the whole villain thing.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Oh, Bruce Almighty.
That you know what? That was. a really
I
good
like that
too.
movie way more than I feel like it got a lot of shit.
It's better than Evan Almighty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that doesn't count. That's not a movie. I enjoyed Bruce Almighty.
Bruce Almighty was really good. That was a good movie.
Beautiful.
I feel like I still use that sometimes.
Oh, I use that all the time.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
The
Jennifer
Mask is only a
Aniston is super
6.9
good.
star.
The Mask is
That's
fantastic.
bullshit.
Do you think they purposely manufactured that score though?
Because like nice.
I don't
You think like a bunch of people were like, we got to keep rating this in different directions until we hit the perfect funniest
that's a
number?
strong possibility.
I wouldn't be mad about that.
Yeah,
I'd
and
support
I
that.
also would believe that.
Yeah,
Like
it's,
some
stars
forum.
on what? On what?
IMDb.
Oh yeah. Well, who cares?
Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
His,
maybe that one.
I also want to do a special shout out for
Oh.
his cameo in the 30 Rock Leap Day episode, which is
I don't know.
maybe the funniest episode of 30 Rock.
I don't know.
The number 23. I forgot what that was about. I feel like I've seen that.
That one's like a horror thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah, he keeps seeing the number 23 everywhere, and then it like eats him or something. Wait, no,
Oh.
that's 7.
That's, yeah.
Which, because 7, 8,
There's a
9.
movie in 04 called
Okay, nice.
Pecan Pie.
I love you,
the
Philip
issue-
Morris. I forgot about that movie.
The
That was
issue
really
with
good.
the number 23 is that it turns out that like that is actually Jim Carrey. IRL is like that into numerology and number powers and
No
stuff.
way.
Oh, I believe that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not the numbers, but that Jim Carrey is into it.
Yeah. And then he was married, I think, to Jenny McCarthy for a while, who was like one of the most prominent anti-vaxxers. So you just assume he probably is too.
The cable guy only got a
Yes,
6.1.
man.
So yeah, I'd say this is probably my favorite serious Carrey movie. And then I'd probably go the first Ace Ventura, even with all those caveats for my favorite funny Carrey
Yeah.
movie.
My favorite might be Ace Ventura Pet Detective.
Yeah.
Not factoring in any,
Yeah.
like, just
That
as
was
it was
straight
when I
up at
watched
the
it
time.
I
previously.
just
yeah.
loved that movie so much.
I love
as
this
a
so much
kid.
too.
I think I go with The Mask.
Yep.
The Mask, my family used to watch that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
So Robin Williams, they were thinking about maybe for the role, but Peter Weir ultimately wanted Carrey after seeing him in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
He would have been
Weird.
good too. I think Robin would have been.
Yeah, he would have
good in
crushed
this,
it.
Yeah, would have been a different, almost like a softer vibe.
Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
I think. Ed Harris.
Wait, what did he? Does it say what about Ace Ventura made Ware want to choose him?
Maybe he just really liked it.
Oh, okay.
Dennis Hopper was originally cast as Christoph, but got fired really early into shooting. He said because they didn't like him.
Who's Dennis Hopper?
He's an actor.
He's not.
Oh, I thought he was one of the boats.
No, he's the bad guy in Speed. He's a counterculture icon for his role in Easy Rider.
Oh, this guy.
He's in a bunch of stuff. He died a few years ago, but he was in a bunch of stuff.
Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I could see him being that guy too.
He's in Waterworld.
Yeah, he is.
I could see him being that guy too.
Kind of a huge career of playing villains, other stuff too, but a lot of prominent villain roles.
This guy was good though. I thought he was really good.
Yeah, Ed Harris is great. He's looked that old forever.
Mm-hmm.
He most recently, the last time we would have talked about Ed Harris, I think was the Top Gun episode back around Oscar season, because he's the old guy that busts Tom Cruise's chops at the beginning of the movie.
In the new Top Gun?
Yeah,
Oh,
in the new Top Gun.
I didn't see it.
He was also in Westworld.
Yeah.
You guys watched Westworld?
The first thing
Yeah.
I thought.
He was the black hat guy.
Oh, yeah. I think that's where I would know him from, actually.
Oh, okay, cool. So let's do ratings. Every week I'll take the ratings we give here and put them on our letterbox. You can find that. Well, you can look at our link tree. We have that now. linktr.ee/late to the movies. No numbers or anything. You can just spell it like a normal person for once. And you can get a link to all the stuff there. All right. So on a scale of 0.5 to 5, on any scale of your choosing besides stars, what would you give The Truman Show?
Does it have to go in 0.5 increments?
Yes.
Oh.
And there's no real reason for it. It's just that we've been doing that for a while, so it'd be unfair to the other people we've already given it.
I'm gonna have to go with. No, well, this might sound rough. 3.5 product placements
That's good.
out of 5.
That's good.
Which for me, that's not like a bad rating.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the movie was good.
Good. Cool.
I'm just trying to think of a
Me too. You
a
can take your
star.
time.
I was gonna say 3.8 or 3.9. So that's, I guess, if I were to round up a 4, but
Okay. All right. Good
I
caveat.
feel like I gave a lot of movies I
context.
like a lot
Mhm.
a 4. So I'm like,
Yeah, fair enough.
I'll go. I was going to say 3.5 as well. 3.5 out of 5 adopted children, forcefully adopted children
Nice.
by network television.
There you go. I'm going to go with 4.5 out of 5 discouraging travel agents' offices.
Nice.
nice.
That was a good scene.
It seems so funny.
Yeah.
The way he just moves back, you see, it's like, it could happen to you. And it's just a plane getting electrocuted.
That's great.
So funny. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So we like this movie. Good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
I enjoyed it a lot.
That was cool.
I'm glad
Good movie.
I was like semi-forced to watch it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Only you kind of tricked yourself.
Yeah,
Almost.
I did.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I was.
So every month we'll ask the same question as connective tissue through all the episodes. And that is, what's a movie that you've watched because of the podcast, either because you listened to an episode and you wanted to watch, or for an episode you were on that you had to watch it for? What's a movie that you've watched for the podcast that you're happy that you've seen?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think all of them. I wasn't actually, no. There's one that I wasn't happy with.
Okay. So you're going to do the opposite of the question.
Yeah, because I was happy with all the other ones.
Okay.
What
Well, I guess
was the
that's a
one?
good answer.
Right? The stupid Captain America movie.
Oh,
You
yeah.
were
I forgot-
yeah,
I
you,
forgot we
you
I
were
forgot
like
we
straight
did
up
that one.
mad that episode.
The
I
whole
feel.
time we watched
I
it, we
don't-
were
I didn't
just
like
like,
that one
this
either.
sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Terrible recommendation. Whoever suggested
Life, because a lot of people like it.
Yeah.
What podcast have we been on?
It does a movie that I haven't seen that I was happy I saw because of this.
Yeah. I mean, you guys were literally on the first episode.
We did.
Birdcage.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I would say that was one that I probably would have never watched.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know what it was until I had to watch it for the podcast. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm really happy I did. I enjoyed that thoroughly.
I think that's still the only time that we've done an episode where we all like watch the movie together and then record.
Yeah, that was kind of nice.
that was cool.
Every other episode, all 103 other episodes or whatever, everyone's watched separately, and then we record the podcast on a different day.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah, we kind of wanted someone to say Birdcage, and I know you had already seen it.
I had seen it,
So
yeah.
it wouldn't count.
It was so long, I forgot.
Yeah, no,
That was
I did
the
that.
first episode.
literally the first episode.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely
2 years
Birdcage.
ago.
Yep.
I hadn't seen it before either, so I'm gonna.
That's right. Yeah, you had
I picked a different answer every episode, so that's gonna be
Ooh.
mine for
Oh,
this.
What
man.
about you, Noah?
I was trying to think. I don't think I've been on many ones that I was the person that hadn't seen it, but Easy A was one for sure that I hadn't seen that
Oh, cool.
I really enjoyed. So
Cool,
I'd say Easy A.
I'm trying to think.
It
for-
re-sparked my love for
Emma
Emma Stone.
And that led to The Favorite. So
and it
that's
led to
good,
The
too,
Favorite, yeah.
which is just
Also
just a
good movie.
stellar movie.
Also a really
So
good
weird.
movie. God, that orange scene or the apple scene or whatever the fuck that was.
That
was
one,
so weird.
That one weirdest scene at one of Greg's parties for the Oscars.
It should have. It was
yeah,
very weird.
whatever year that was, 2017 or whatever year
It's
that
very
was.
strange.
Yeah,
That's probably what rich people do, right?
yeah, just
Probably
get
much worse
naked and
things.
throw rotten fruit at each other.
Yeah, that's the lighter side.
Yeah.
Being rich.
We did that.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
That's just roommate stuff.
It
though.
wasn't Ryan, but
That's where I got the idea from. I didn't tell you
Yeah.
that, but it's just roommates.
That's just roommate stuff. All right, cool. Well, yeah, that about wraps us up for this episode. Tune in next week for a whole new month. I haven't decided on the theme yet. Hopefully I will soon. And thanks to Noah and Cory for being on this episode.
Anytime.
okay, yeah. Anytime. I'm down to watch the next movie. Glad I watched this one.
Yeah, good. I'm
I haven't
glad.
watched a lot of movies, so
Yeah.
except for this list. Surprisingly, I've seen almost every movie.
Yeah. I had sent around a list of different options for anniversary month, which no longer has any relevance. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Is this the final one?
It's the last episode of the month. Yeah.
Nice.
You can find us on all the normal places. I guess Stitcher won't exist that much anymore, but I'm more of a muscle memory person, so I'm definitely still going to say Stitcher when I list the different platforms, and I'm sorry about that. But you can find us in all the normal places. If you want to know specifically where, check out our link tree, and that's the only link I'm going to give from now on because it's easier to remember. Linktree links are linktr.ee/ on our slash is late to the movies. Just spell it out with letters, no numbers. Get to our Instagram, our merch, our Letterboxd, every possible podcast platform. Stitcher actually is still listed on that tab, so get it while you can. I don't know.
Hire me, Spotify.
Yeah, and then Spotify should hire Cory, and so we don't usually do plugs, but that can be one. I think Spotify's
If it gets
listening.
hard, who's
Yeah,
to
they'll
say
be
that
listening.
didn't help, you know?
Yeah.
That just about ends the podcast. So I guess I'll say what you were queuing me for. So that's it. It's good to see you guys. And in case I don't see you again later, good afternoon, good evening, and good podcast.
That was a good one. Yeah, good way. Good way. to end it.
Yeah. A little twist, a little curveball for you. Thanks, guys.
See ya.